Hi, welcome back to Storytime with Dan Booker. Appreciate you stopping by. We're going to continue on today with Gods and More Gods. Today's chapter is the Earth. Fred stood on a mountaintop and admired the planet. It was much like the ones before, and in the middle, a huge landmass was what was usually used to populate the planet. It allowed for people to advance considerably as one society. This set the groundwork for those who would come after. Eventually, the landmass would break up into continents and islands. The people would then change, develop independently, and specialization would occur. The first thing he created on the mountaintop was a smaller version of the club. This would house and recharge the gods, just as the club did during the lax time when no one was praying. He realized that at least one or two of the new gods wouldn't request their people to pray to them at all. Oddly enough, he remembered that these type of gods usually receive the most reverence. The housing dealt with, he went into the lounge and settled down to some deep thinking. At his elbow, Berthold handed him a glass of Old Wolf and some sandwiches. Fred accepted them with thanks, then started. "How in the name of all that's wonderful did you get here?" Berthold smiled benevolently. "Sir, when you copied the club, you connected them together. And as I am part of the club, I'm also part of this facility. I'll serve both places together." Fred's brow shot up. He didn't think that something like this was even possible. "Berthold, won't you be overworked out taking on two places?" Again, the beatific smile. "Surely not, sir. There are so few gods to see to. I'll be hard-pressed to find uses for my spare time." He stroked his chin thoughtfully. "I may learn to surf in my leisure hours. I've heard it is exhilarating and a skill worth mastering. Neptune often spoke to me of the fun he had surfing on tidal waves." Fred tried to picture Berthold riding a wave wearing speedos, but the image of this impeccable spirit cutting loose and hanging ten was so out of character that he gave it up. Berthold excused himself and wandered around to acquaint himself with the new facility. Finishing his light repast, he decided to get down to business. From a mound of earth, he began to fashion animals. He really wanted to create the mammoth dinosaurs he had created on the last Earth. While they were impressive, and he enjoyed their creation, he discovered that they were useless in the evolutionary timeline. They were too large to hunt or train for any useful occupation. He tried to imagine a person trying to milk a Nigersaurus. Shook his head. No dinosaurs. This time, although to soothe his disappointment, he did create some woolly mammoths and a few smaller varieties. He even created a tiny version of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which gave him a fit of laughter when its roar came out like a cat having its tail stepped on. As he pottered around developing the planet, the T-Rex tagged along, bringing him sticks to throw and behaving more like a pet than a terrifying monster. As he worked, he decided some relaxing music was in order, and in moments, Yanni and Kitaro echoed across the expanse. The music set his mood, and he created trees and plants with all that was good to eat, much like he had created the gardens of Eden, Dilmun, Jana, and others. He also added plants that were of various degrees of poison so that people could create medicines from them. He made a mental note to have Hygeia instruct which ones people could and couldn't eat. He created a book with pictures and descriptions and sent it to the club for distribution. It's raining out. When all was set to his ideas, he scored the landmass into parts of approximate equal size, then went high above the planet, grabbed a passing asteroid, and hurled it into the center of the Pangea. He struck a bullseye, and the planet broke up into large continents, and the fragments drifted off to become islands. Taking another asteroid, he cast it into the ocean between them and sent them sailing farther apart from each other. By doing this, each god could have their own place created into what they considered right and proper. Checking in with Hercules and Hygeia, he was told that the training would take longer than they had first estimated, as some of the new gods were being obstructive. Fred asked if they wanted him to come up, but they had things in hand. Since they were only trainee gods and not at full power, both teachers were more than a match for them. With time on his side, he decided to stay Earthside for a while, putting finishing touches on the different areas and playing with the animals he had created. No matter how high a god is, they still need a little relaxation, and Fred had been under a lot of stress lately. On the occasion when he stopped off at the apartment, he brought his new pet along. He was afraid one of the tigers or something as fierce might eat it. Karen got a fright one morning when she woke one morning and found a T-Rex snuggled next to her. She carried it dangling from her fingers into Fred's half and flung it at his head. All right, the next chapter as training continues. It's another short chapter, so we're going to stop here, and we will do this again in a couple of days. So I look forward to seeing you. Appreciate you stopping by. Have a good day. I'm going to go outside and enjoy the rain. Be good and be good to yourself. Bye.